like the Bajrang Dal, for whatever their illegal activities, can be compared to the PFI? And why did you remember this today? I don't remember you ever promising PFI will be banned despite worse crimes committed by PFI members.
Do you believe that today's attack gives Russia a handle or an excuse to try and derail that counteroffensive, or at least, if not on the ground, to try and alter the terms of narrative around that counteroffensive?
You're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. 4 days have passed since the release of the Kerala Story, a movie that tells the tale of 4 women who were trapped and trafficked to the ISIS terror group. The movie claims that 32,000 women in Kerala were lured and converted to Islam to be recruited by ISIS, claiming the virus of radicalism is spreading unchecked in the state. While the Congress and the left have called the movie brazen propaganda to defame Kerala, it has been banned in West Bengal and called a threat to law and order. In Tamil Nadu, many multiplexes have refused to screen the movie. However, the film continues to perform well at the box office, nearing the 50 crore mark in just 4 days. In fact, as the BJP puts its weight behind the film, with top union ministers attending screenings, the film has also been granted tax-free status in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. But now criticism is turning to vitriol. NCP leader Jitendra Awad made a stunning statement saying the filmmakers should be hanged for defaming the women of Kerala. He later told CNN News 18 that it was an outburst, but called the movie seditious and against the integrity of India. Meanwhile, the battle has also reached the Supreme Court, where producer Vipul Shah has moved the top court against the West Bengal ban. But one cannot deny that people are going to the theatres and paying money to watch this film. Can the political opposition to this movie justify a ban based on arbitrary law and order situation or concerns? Moreover, given the success of this movie and support from the BJP, is criticism now turning to vitriol and direct threats against the filmmakers?
के लोग इसको देखें और समझें कि हिंदुस्तान के दूसरे भूभाग में किस ढंग से हमारी बहनों के साथ अत्याचार अनाचार हो रहा है, दुर्व्यवहार हो रहा है, और सतर्कता बढ़ते हुए अपने परिवार को, अपने संस्कारों को, अपने बच्चों को संभालें।
Be it an election in the state or central election, they become more proactive in playing this religion card and divisive politics, especially when the Karnataka election is about to be taken place.
We are not ready to show the reality. When a filmmaker comes out and says that 32 women have gone, and then comes on like a shameless fellow says that it is only 3. The controversy which has been created has created hatred, and that is what we all are facing.
I wonder whether she's got the chance or the time to see the film. I am surprised with this reason given, because the theatres are running house full. People are watching the film in big numbers.
I think it is a politically motivated, misguided decision. I request Mamata Didi that please watch the film and decide for yourself that whether this film is may pose any law and order.
As the storm refuses to die down, we have Vipul Shah, producer of the Kerala Story, joining me on News Epicenter again. And Vani Tripathi is the member of CBFC. She's joining me live from Singapore. Thank you so much to both of you. Vani, I'm coming to you. As a member of the CBFC, can you take up with a state government if they decide to ban a movie? In this case, the government of Bengal.
First, let me put this on record, Maria, that CBFC is a constitutionally constituted body which certifies cinema in India. And we are guided by the Cinematograph Act of 1952, which is also, constituted by the constitution of the country. So the first question that arises is, if CBFC has certified a film, then what is the state government's, prerogative, or what is the reason for doing this? Number one. Number two, the reasons the Honorable Chief Minister cited is law and order, which is a state subject. Let me say this to you, that since CBFC certifies theatrical releases of films, when somebody goes into a theater, whether 100 or 500 or a 1,000, capacity or theater, the person goes with the responsibility taken by the government, the exhibitor, the producer, but the law of the land, the state. We are a federal democracy, that his or her safety will be, the state subject. So I just don't understand that CBFC certified the film. It's running successfully all over the country, and she's giving such a strange reason. If there is an agenda behind it, then she should have the courage to also come out with the agenda. Because, whatever her statement is, has not just left me baffled, but also has left the board baffled, which works tirelessly to certify films. Do we look like people who are irresponsible when we've already certified the film and it's running successfully all over the country? There is some kind of a nefarious design and a nefarious agenda to this. And I think in a democracy, this is the most undemocratic thing to do.
Okay, so since you have declared it undemocratic and you are also a member of CBFC, Vani, let me bring in the producer here. Vipul Shah, 50 crore is what the film has already made since its release on Friday. There are two states, that is Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, which have declared that this movie will be tax-free. But the criticism is only growing. The filmmaker has received death threat, you heard from Mr. Sudipto. And there are also likes of Jitendra Awad, who says that they should be hanged for defaming the women of Kerala.
Okay, let me answer because I have any questions in this one question. There is no death threat to me or any of my team members here. Yes, precaution is very, very important, and we are cautious, and we are taking all necessary steps if there is any such situation. But as of now, we are not under any kind of threat.
Okay.
As far as Mr. Awad's comment is concerned, I find it hilarious because he's a lawmaker himself and he knows how law operates. And I'm sure he doesn't mean literally that I should be hanged, right? It's just a political statement. So that's perfectly fine.
So you don't see that as a provocation to his party men?
Sorry, provocation.
Yes.
I don't think that even his party men are, going to really get provoked and say, okay, let's hang Vipul in the, in public. That's not going to happen. So we all know that's just a political statement for effect. There is no merit to it. So it's okay. Fine. I leave it at that. The most important issue for me is that how many people have seen 50 crore amounts to how many people. If the number of people is in excess of 4 million people having seen the film in 4 days, that is just the beginning of the mission that we all had started. We kept saying that we want this issue to become a national issue. We want every family and every girl to see this film and that discuss this issue in depth nationally. And I think in these 4 days, one thing is very clear. With the love, with the emotional connect of the audience to this film, they are going to tell everybody and they are going to send many more people inside the theater. And this subject now cannot be taken lightly. So I think the weekend and the first 4 days has given us that confidence that at least the subject has become a national subject now. So one part of it is done. And yes, the trade has called this film already a all-time blockbuster film, and the trade is hailing it. So it's a great situation, and action that we are receiving from the audience who are seeing it on social media, personally on our WhatsApps, to everywhere.
Okay.
People are saying this is the best film they have seen in their whole life. This film has changed their life.
Okay.
It's made such an impact on so many people. You see the videos of the women coming out of the theater and crying. You see the chants that are going on. I heard in one of the shows, there was a chant ke Shalini tum aage badho, hum tumhare saath hai. There was another show where they said Shalini tum badla leke rahogi. Now this kind of emotion and this kind of connect with the character and the film and the story, I think that is huge. So I don't want to get lost into the political
I'll ask you, Vipul,
debate.
a question particularly on what does it
really
mean for the
focus on
Bollywood. But
people.
before that, I'll take a quick word also from Vani. Vani, you know, there is a charge that this film, and this is coming from, you know, critics who say that this film is propaganda, and that this claim that has been made by the filmmakers, 32,000, is actually exaggerated number, something that the CBFC should have perhaps ensured in the cuts that you were suggesting. So the question has been raised on the functioning of the board as well.
I cannot let out what all must have transpired between Vipulji as a producer and the CBFC. But let me tell you, under the guidelines under which we function, the Cinematograph Act of 1952, 5 things are non-negotiable. One is, if a film will create communal violence or will raise communal temper in the country, national security, if anything which becomes detrimental to peace and harmony and creates societal disturbance, and if it is something which is nefarious in its agenda. So let me say this to you, that the most democratic process of certification is followed in CBFC, Maria, to begin with. Also, the question arises that all kinds of cinema, whether it's on the left or the right or the center political divide of the country, gets made and it gets certified. You must remember how many controversial films the board has faced in the past few years and how tremendous hard work has happened that, you know, those films have harmoniously gone to the people and we certified it. My extreme disappointment is towards this, that on one hand, we scream freedom of speech, we scream free speech, we scream creative freedom in this country. And on another hand, when a board tirelessly works, let me say this to you, this is the first time that there is a CBFC board which has only and only artists, film actors, theatre people, writers, directors, and so on. So now the industry cannot say that it is not represented well. So the disappointment is a sheer hard work that goes into certifying thousands of films gets completely undone when in a federal democracy like ours, one state gets up and does something so undemocratic, which means there is no faith in the constitutional propriety of institutions of this country. I would rather put a challenge back. You don't have faith in CBFC? This is a question I asked tonight on your show as far as the Honorable Chief Minister of the state which has banned the film is. On one hand, you constantly say the only way forward is certification when a theatrical release is done, when public exhibition of cinema is required. On another hand, you actually do this, which is so undemocratic, which is against the basic tenets of democracy of our country.
So that's
so
a question.
Just saying,
that's a question that has been asked to Mamata Banerjee.
Board member.
Yes.
We for so many years, Maria, have been the beacon of hope for creative filmmakers in this country. If we take a step back, what will happen? And this is a sheer anarchic step that the state government has taken. It should not be pardoned.
Vipul Shah, last question to you. You know, for the longest time, particularly in the last few years, there was a lot of existential question that the Bollywood faced because the films down south were doing so well. They were box office hits. They were making so much money, RRR, Pushpa, so many of them. And it was seen as Bollywood not able to get the pulse of the people right. Then you have cinema such as yours, Kashmir Files, even, the biggest hit of all times recently, Pathan. So do you think there has been a disconnect between the Bollywood producers, directors, and the society at large? And that is the reason why those films did not get response and you are getting one?
I think all films are very different from one another. So comparison may not be a possibility here, because how do you compare a Pathan and the Kerala story? There is no way of comparing the two. But having said that, I think audience is extremely clear that they will support a film, even if that film is not a very big budget extravaganza, if it has got a subject which is absolutely essential, something that they are going to, connect with, and they are going to find some new facts about our society, something that will compel them to leave the comfort of their home and come to the cinema hall. I think unless and until your film is compelling, they are not going to come. Any amount of controversy or anything, the film can only open for day one, and day two onwards it will die. That's how people are today, because social media is so quick in spreading good or bad word. In this case, the film is just growing day by day. Instead of slowing down, it's becoming bigger by the day. Because if you go to the social media and if you ask anybody who's seen the film, they will tell you that this is an absolute gem of a film. It has emotionally connected with them, and they are overwhelmed with the kind of emotion the film, emotional effect the film has on them. And I think that is the reason people are coming to see this film in theater. I don't think any film can only survive on some amount of controversy or some amount of debate. It will have to go beyond it to become a genuine long-term hit. I think that is great. And I think it's a great relief for all of us that a film has shown, the Kerala story has shown, that audience is willing to come to the theater. Just give them the right content. This time we were lucky. We got it right. We worked very, very, very hard to get it right. And we are only glad that audience has validated us.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Vipul Shah, Vani Tripathi, pleasure to speak to you. There's a piece of breaking news coming in now, and then we go back to the panelists on this debate. After Imran Khan's arrest, and Mr. Imran Khan is presently at the army headquarters in Rawalpindi, mob has now stormed army headquarters. Water cannon, tear gas fired at Imran Khan supporters, as ministers are in fact say that perhaps the PTI chief has been tortured as well. Abhishek Jha is joining me. This is a massive law and order situation, Abhishek.
Clearly, an utter chaos is prevailing right now in Pakistan, and not only in Rawalpindi but across Pakistan. We see so many big protests happening. People are on the streets. Interestingly, women are equally participating in this protest, and Rawalpindi, which happens to be the headquarters of Pakistan Army, also was probably thought as the safest destination where Imran Khan could be put. But now it looks like that calculation may not have been as accurate, because the kind of crowd is on the street, and now we are learning that the army headquarters in Rawalpindi is also under attack. Clearly, Pakistan's people are out on the street, and it is posing a huge challenge for the army against whom Imran Khan has been on a long fight, and he's been alleging that the army officials and the senior establishment people, they have made a group where they want to eliminate him politically, physically. There had already been 2 assassination attempts on him. So whatever Imran Khan had said about him in the past is slowly and gradually coming true as well, because now we see the way he has been sort of arrested or abducted by paramilitary forces. It was not police. There was no police presence in there. Judicially is also not very much convinced in the way Imran Khan has been arrested. So clearly, a lot of institutions are at loggerheads. Imran Khan, his party members, everybody is appealing to people that come on the street and protest in support of
Managing
Imran Khan.
editor Zaka Jacob is also joining me on the phone line. Zaka, PTI workers protesting in multiple cities across Pakistan, Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Lahore, Karachi. What really can the government of the day do?
I think, this has now gone beyond the control of the civilian government. The fact that they are attacking the general headquarters in Rawalpindi, the seat of the Pakistan Army, which is arguably the most powerful institution in Pakistan, I think it's very, very clear. This is a direct challenge to the authority of the Army of Pakistan. This is a direct challenge by the supporters of Imran Khan that they believe that today's action has been done at the behest of the army. Now, if you remember, there's very little love lost between Imran Khan and the army, particularly the top generals. He had wanted his own man in place, first as DGISI, and then subsequently when General Bajwa retired, he wanted his man to replace General Bajwa as the Chief of Army Staff, but that was not to be. In fact, over the last few days, Imran Khan has been directly alluding to one particular general, one of the corps commanders, who he says was directly the person who gave the orders for his assassination attempt that happened a few months ago. So clearly, the fact that the mobs have now ransacked or at least tried to storm into the general headquarters in Rawalpindi, I can't think of something like this of having happened ever in Pakistan, at least not in recent times. Even when the coup happened under General Musharraf and the long march of the lawyers happened when General Musharraf had been unceremoniously thrown out of power, we haven't seen scenes like this where it was always said in Pakistan that the institution which ultimately calls the shots, which is the ultimate seat of power, is the Pakistan Army. And that seat of power, the general headquarters in Rawalpindi, being stormed like this by Imran Khan supporters is fairly unprecedented.
But Zaka, the larger question is, what is the Islamabad High Court or the court in Pakistan saying? Because if you look at the circumstances, it is almost being seen as an abduction of the former Prime Minister.
Well, that certainly is the allegation coming in from people of Imran Khan's party. Fawad Chaudhry, for example, one of his close confidants, has been saying that Imran Khan was literally abducted from the NAB court in the Islamabad High Court premises. Now, I think it's fairly clear that the battle lines are drawn. You have Imran Khan on the one side. There are supposedly, elements within the judiciary who are sympathetic to him. And on the other side, you have the ruling civilian government of the PDM under Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, and of course the army, which seems to be backing them. I think something has got to give in the next few days. You will have Imran Khan being produced in court tomorrow. There will be absolutely chaotic scenes across Pakistan tomorrow, not just in the court premises where he will be produced. But I think Imran Khan supporters across the length and breadth of the country are coming out. They are rallying in his support, and they are ransacking places. So which is why I go back to what I said, that this is a direct challenge to the authority of the Pakistan Army. Make no mistake, the army will hit back. The army will fight back, no doubt about it. They will use the heavy stick. They will use the long arm of the ruling establishment to clamp down. It hasn't come yet, but it is definitely coming. If this continues, this kind of violence and mayhem and riots continue for the next few days, then the army will have no choice but to use the heavy hand of the state machinery.
The question now is, shut down Pakistan, release Imran Khan. These are just the chants that you can hear on the streets now of Lahore, Faizabad, Bannu, Peshawar. People of Lahore now are moving towards liberty, moving from liberty towards Lahore Can. That is what the PTI handle is saying. This is an unprecedented situation, Zaka, as you were pointing out. But is the situation quite literally out of hands? Because if you have a situation in which a former Prime Minister is abducted, as PTI is claiming, and then what can the civilian government do?
Well, clearly, I think it's also telling the fact that the supporters of Imran Khan are not targeting the civilian government as much as they're targeting the army. And I think that's happened for the very first time, that you have a political establishment, you have a political party that is directly targeting the army and saying it's the army that is the sutradhar of this entire thing, that Imran Khan's arrest has been done at the behest of the army. In fact, Imran Khan has also been saying that the plan is to take him into custody and then eventually eliminate him while he's in custody. He's been saying this for a number of weeks now, and I think it's playing to a script, is the feeling amongst PTI supporters, amongst Imran Khan supporters. Like I said, they're not ransacking Shahbaz Sharif's house or Bilawal Bhutto's house. They are trying to storm into, military establishments. The corps commander in Lahore, his house was ransacked. The general headquarters in Rawalpindi, there was an attempt to try and storm that. So I think this is something that is fairly unprecedented in Pakistan, where political party supporters are targeting the army directly.
Okay, we have Abdul Samad Yaqub, he is the PTI spokesperson. We also have Mateen Haider, senior journalist, joining me from Pakistan. Abdul Samad Yaqub, is this what is happening across the various districts and cities of Pakistan now? What we are seeing in Rawalpindi and Lahore?
Yes, it is exactly happening all over the Pakistan, from each street, each main road of the Pakistan. I mean, from Karachi to Peshawar, everywhere. I mean, people of Pakistan are out for the protest. Situation, unfortunately, I mean, they are targeting, as your reporter was mentioning, that they are targeting more of the military possessions rather than the civilian government. The fact of the matter is, I mean, the situation could have been avoided if the arrest was done in better manner. I mean, Imran Khan was humiliated, he was dragged, and these footages, I mean, when the footages appear and when it gone viral on the social media, there was a great outrage in the public, in the PTI workers. That's how they came out, and they have a fear that Imran Khan might have been poisoned in the custody of the.
So you are fearing that Imran Khan could be poisoned in the custody? Is that what the fear of PTI is?
Imran Khan himself has showed his reservation. I mean, he himself has told that he could be poisoned or he could be assassinated by any means. I mean, the purpose of his arrest is to eliminate him. I mean, not only politically, but his life is in danger when he was tried to be assassinated a few months back. So there are fears that he may be assassinated or poisoned. So at the moment, I mean, the situation can only be
legally speaking. What are your options, Mr. Yaqub?
Well, at the moment, I mean, the only option for the nation or for the situation is that they must release Imran Khan, who come out and deliver a video message to request to the public. I mean, to ask them to call off their press. This is the only solution. Otherwise, I mean, this is going to be more violent. The situation will be turning into more violence. I mean, let's see what happens further. I mean, this is out of control. You can understand the mob mentality. No one can stop the mob when they are violent, when they are aggressive, when they are on the streets. So,
Mateen, stay with us. Yaqub Saab, stay with us. Mateen, I want to understand what is the Prime Minister's office saying, because of course this is an unprecedented situation. There is a direct charge against the civilian government of abducting a former Prime Minister. And if you look at it, the visuals that have been posted on his official Instagram account, barely an hour after his arrest, he predicts his arrest and calls the government gangs of thieves, and that is, this is a gang of thieves which has been imposed on the people.
Yes, well, correctly, and the moment he was arrested, his tweet before arrest, advance video statement was immediately released to the media, in which Imran Khan was saying that he's most likely to be arrested today. So his prediction was correct. And then one of the analysts who was speaking, so Khan, off and on had been expressing fears that he could be poisoned, he could be assassinated. So that is another reason. But most important turning point was last night when Pakistan Army's spokesperson, Inter-Services Public Relations, issued a strong verdict statement and refuted allegations of Imran Khan, that Imran Khan had been pointing out that a particular officer of Inter-Services Intelligence, that he's plotting to assassinate him. So Pakistani military issued a strong verdict statement and termed the statement and allegations of Imran Khan as fabricated, concocted, baseless, and with no authentication. So Khan was also reminded that if he has any evidence or anything like that, he should adopt the legal course. So yesterday was the turning point, basically, because Adity spoke out. And later Adity also said that if Imran Khan continue to blame Pakistan Army and inter-services intelligence for any alleged plot or anything, and if he continue to blame and level baseless allegations, so military will also take the legal course. So today the legal course has been taken. So yesterday was the turning point. Now the talks, there are no more talks. Talks began between CPI and the sitting government, continued for several days. And there was only
Mateen,
one
the
demand
question
by,
is,
Pakistan
what is the explanation that is being given by Shehbaz Sharif government? Because he was, the former Prime Minister was taken away from outside the Islamabad High Court where he had arrived for hearing in a corruption case. And he has been taken away by paramilitary.
Exactly, if you just let me allow to share that reaction. So reaction was from Pakistani Interior Minister, Mr. Rana Sanaullah, who said that Khan was arrested by the Rangers, and it was basically a nabbed arrest warrant. And in Qadar Trust case, so in the Qadar Trust case, there are only two trustees of that Qadar Trust. One is Imran Khan, and the second is his wife. So the NAB has also decided to call his wife as well, and said if she doesn't appear, she would be arrested. So Rana Sanaullah further alleged that it was a case of misappropriation of amount tuning to 60 billion rupees. 60 billion rupees, and he also alleged that former advisor to Mr. Imran Khan, when he was in power, Shehzad Akbar minted 2 billion rupees from that deal. The deal was, of course, the contributions and the financial contributions for this Al-Qadr Trust, and that was from abroad. And then Shehzad Akbar was a front man. He got 2 billion rupees. He is abroad, and today Interior Minister of Pakistan also said that Inter is being approached to bring Shehzad Akbar back to Pakistan so that he could also be included in investigation. But there are no chances now. The next target is the next target is the Mrs. of Imran Khan. She would be included in the investigation if she doesn't appear. Now the security situation at Imran Khan Lahore residence is vulnerable, so family could be arrested any moment. Right, that home could be ransacked any moment again. So the police will try to find out more evidence, documents, files,
and
something like that.
Yes, and even as we speak, the situation is only getting worse by every passing hour. We have Ahmed Pansota, Imran Khan's lawyer. Mr. Pansota, what exactly is the legal option that is available before you and the legal course that the party is looking at?
Well, at the moment, the good part is that Islamabad High Court has reversed its judgment on the possibility of arrest being declared as illegal. So we're just waiting for that judgment. And if the arrest has been declared illegal in that judgment, maybe once the judgment is announced, then of course Imran Khan, the entire landscape changes, and then he will take appropriate legal action accordingly. We have a firm belief that the arrest itself is completely illegal, and in no way can it be sustained under the law. There was a specific order from the Islamabad High Court that he cannot be arrested from the premises. He was arrested. Secondly, apart from that, the law indulging the arrest policy under the National Accountability Bureau law, as per that, there are various judgments. But first of all, you should investigate, and if at the arresting stage you need to arrest somebody, you should arrest him. Thirdly, Imran Khan was arrested by the Rangers, and I think it was the paramilitary force, which was wrongly used by the National Accountability Bureau. So there are various grounds on which this arrest is liable to be set aside, and we're very hopeful. So if that's done, I think the legal action will change. But in case the arrest is not declared illegal, then we'll have to appear before the trial court first and have him represent him in his remand hearing.
Okay, so Ahmed, you are hoping that the court will declare this arrest as illegal. Imran Khan has been arrested outside the Islamabad High Court, and of course which has resulted in demonstrations and protests by, PTI supporters across Pakistan. The question is, if this arrest is illegal, then can the court actually declare it? And if they do it, what will be the role? What will be the kind of judgment that could come? I'm second guessing the court order against the civilian government, which is Shehbaz Sharif's government.
Well, to be honest, what is expected is that first of all, the vires of the arrest have to be seen under the constitutional or on the constitutional touchstone. First of all, this was within the Islamabad High Court premises. He had applied for clearance bail in several cases, and he had just gone to get his biometric done, which is a procedural requirement before the bail is taken up. And the matter was being heard in the court on some different issue. So once he was there, he went inside the room, he was arrested. So this arrest in itself is per se illegal. Why? Because A, there was a court order which specifically restrained the law enforcement agency from arresting him. And even otherwise, as per the court ethics and the legal ethics, people are not allowed within the court premises. The ex-Prime Minister was arrested, and that too through completely illegal means. And even the new National Accountability Bureau law does not allow for any such arrest to be made. So I think on the basis of all of this, if the Islamabad High Court declares it illegal, then automatically any exercise thereafter will be declared illegal. So Imran Khan, most probably, on the basis of this order, if it is in his favor, I think he'll be a free man's soul.
So when is that, challenging of this arrest likely to happen, Ahmed?
Well, the judgment has been reserved. As I'm talking to you, I'm reading it on various news channels that the Islamabad High Court Chief Justice has reserved his judgment. And I think in the next 10, 15 or maybe 30 minutes, it is expected to be announced. And I expect sanity to prevail. I expect rule of law to prevail over everything else. And most importantly, the Constitution of Pakistan must reign over everything else. And that's what Chief Justice of Islamabad High Court is there for, safeguarding the fundamental rights of any citizen of Pakistan. And in this case, this is the ex-Prime Minister of Pakistan.
And Ahmed, so you expect a judgment perhaps to come in your favor in the next half an hour. But the larger question is, if this is an illegal arrest, there are PTI spokespersons who are trying to build this as some kind of abduction as well. Do we know who really abducted him? I mean, paramilitary forces, can they come and abduct a former prime minister from the premises of a court?
Well, to be honest, if it reaches that and it is declared as an illegal arrest, and I think the main person to be held accountable under this is the chairman NAB, who has issued this warrant, and then the Director General NAB, who has sought help from the paramilitary force. Paramilitary force, I don't hold that as responsible because they are there to follow the orders. But the real question is, why was the paramilitary force hired in the first place? And secondly, whether that order in itself was legally sustainable. So I think if it gets to that, and if the liability has to be determined, the charge has to be framed against somebody, it will be the Director General NAB along with the Chairman NAB.
All right. Thank you, Ahmed. Let's see what really happens at the Islamabad High Court, which will be pronouncing its verdict in half an hour from now. Let me go back to Abdul Samad Yaqub. Abdul Samad Yaqub, your lawyer is hoping for a relief to come from the court. Till then, couldn't you have ensured that the supporters of PTI were not seen ransacking the streets and destroying public properties?
Well, I wish that the PTI workers or the PTI followers or the lovers of Imran Khan remain peaceful. But when there is aggression, when there is such kind of aggression, I mean, the mob mentality, you may understand the mob mentality. I mean, it's hard for them to restrain or refrain from the violence. What we are expecting is, and that is unfortunate that so far what footages we have seen, we have watched, there is a sheer violence. I mean, they have entered in the GHQ General Headquarters of the Army, they have entered in the house of the Corps Commander of Lahore, and by the way, this is the first time after 2009, I mean, when the TTP attacked General Headquarters of the Army. That was attacked in 2009, and since then it's first time happened that the general public has entered in the general headquarters. So this is so unfortunate. I mean, the whole Pakistan is burning, and the only way forward is that Imran Khan must be released by tonight, so that he come out and he release the video or he call off this protest. This is the only way forward. Otherwise, further violence will be, we can expect a further violence, and I don't know where it's going to be stopped.
We'll try and get some more data and details that are coming in from Islamabad High Court, which has so far reserved the verdict in Imran Khan's arrest. The lawyer there saying that perhaps a verdict is expected later today. So let's see what really is the verdict in that in Imran Khan's arrest. The former Prime Minister, remember, was arrested by paramilitary forces from Islamabad High Court premises earlier today. And there was a video that showed a swarm of paramilitary personnel surrounding Imran Khan and whisking him away to a vehicle. That, of course, that video has gone viral. Imran Khan's party also shared the video alleging that he was badly pushed. The former Prime Minister's arrest has sparked protests across Pakistan, and the police used water cannons and tear gas to stop large gatherings. So that is the big story that we are tracking at this hour. Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister, who faces multiple cases, in fact 121 cases across Pakistan, from treason to blasphemy. These are cases that are related to committing and inciting violence and terrorism. 12 cases of terrorism in Lahore, 14 cases registered against him in Faisalabad. Some 22 terrorism cases have also been registered against Imran Khan across the country. So it's only getting tough for Imran Khan, Abdul, as far as the legal fight is concerned. I mean, if you look at it, 121 cases in all.
These are the politically motivated cases. I mean, you the case false was filed against Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, then the Prime Minister. I mean, and he was hanged, and which is still considered as judicial murder. I mean. And that's what we are expecting, that they can file multiple false cases, like they have filed over 140 cases. So filing a case, it's become a joke. I mean, how can a former Prime Minister who can be accused in 140 cases, and then since we have already shown our reserve that he might be poisoned or he may be assassinated, so these are genuine. These are the genuine reserves, and the first former Prime Minister has directly accused the serving Major General. I mean, this never happened before. Although the former, when they got retired, they are really accused, but this is the first, and these are the serious results. I mean, the world must take action or must raise.
You are saying that the world must take note, and even as we speak, there is a piece of breaking news that is coming in now. The Islamabad High Court has in fact reserved verdict in Imran Khan's arrest. What does it actually mean? Will the verdict be read out in later tonight, or will it be perhaps for the next few days? That remains to be seen. But the questions being raised against the civilian government of Shehbaz Sharif, there has been complete chaos across Pakistan. Multiple cities are witnessing protests by PTI supporters and workers. Abdul Samad, here is what we are picking up, that the Islamabad High Court had reserved the verdict. If the verdict doesn't come by later tonight, what will be the PTI supporters doing? Shouldn't they have faith in the courts of Pakistan, that perhaps if you say that this is an illegal arrest, you will get some relief from the courts? Till then, you should ensure that that these kind of protests are not happening.
I mean, situation can be calmed down by if the court read the orders in a while. I mean, this is the matter of very urgency. I mean, the court must. I would request the court to read up the verdict as soon as possible. Otherwise, people cannot be restrained. I mean, the thing is going to be further towards further violence. I mean, so the next 24 hours can be more crucial. I mean, there should be someone to come forward, and like the High Court, only High Court, I think, at this moment can calm down the situation, and we have a high hope from the High Court, and most likely the verdict will be in the favor of Imran Khan, and most likely he will be released immediately.
Okay, we certainly hope that this situation is under control, because the entire situation across Pakistan is a matter of huge law and order situation and concern. We are seeing visuals come in from Rawalpindi, Lahore, Karachi and multiple parts where commander's home has been hit, where the army headquarters have been mobbed. So certainly a lot of concerns there on ground. This remains our top focus. We are slipping into a short break. We'll come back to this story in just a bit.
But you make it a completely absurd and exaggerated claim that there are more than 30,000 such cases. So what the reality is and what you have portrayed, one is an exaggerated version of the other. How do you respond to that?
See, what happened is that was the only argument they had against the film before the film released, right? And in 3.5 days, there are millions of reactions from various people on social media where nobody has talked about 32,000 number or number is less or more. What they are saying is that, oh my God, if this is happening in our own country, we need to stand up and protect our daughters. So the film is connecting with people on a human level. Now, when that propaganda did not get the desired result, maybe showing a law and order situation is another way to, kind of stop us from showing the film to millions of people who want to see the film. That's what I think. And I don't know how else to respond to these constant allegations, which mean nothing actually. They're just thrown at us to discredit us.
Okay, these allegations have been thrown at you to discredit you. We'll leave it at that. Vipul Shah, thank you very much for speaking with us here on Brass Tacks. I want to first go across to Vipul Shah, who's the producer of this film, the maker of this film. Thank you very much, Mr. Shah, for joining us. We've just got the information today that Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister, has decided not to allow the broadcast of your movie, saying that it's propaganda, that it's detrimental to law and order in the state. How would you respond to Bengal and the Bengal Chief Minister's decision to ban your movie in that state?
So the simple thing is that the movie has been running for last 3.5 days, and it has been running to pack houses. Thousands and thousands of people have seen the film in Bengal already, and there is not a single incidence of any kind of disturbance. And when I got the news, I immediately checked with my distributor that is there any kind of disturbance because of which sudden disturbance which has led to this kind of decision. And he said he checked with all the theater owners and he came back to me and he said no, there is nothing of that sort.
Okay.
So I am not able to understand that for 3.5 days, if the film has done successfully and peacefully and people have loved it and emotionally connected with it on such a big level, then I don't understand how suddenly it has become a law and order disturbance. I'm not able to understand it. Maybe you can explain it to me.
But tell me, Mr. Shah, what is also being cited, it's not just Bengal, which has now banned your movie, but also states like Tamil Nadu, where there seems to be an unofficial ban because theatre owners are saying there is no footfalls, they don't want to take a chance, etc. The reasons that are being cited by these folks is yours is a propaganda movie, it demonizes one state, it demonizes one entire community, and potentially it could lead to some kind of violence. What do you have to say to that?
We've made it clear, amply clear, time and again, that this film is not against any community, any religion, or even the state of Kerala. It's against none. It's against terror. And if I thought that when we are making this kind of a film, we'll be applauded for exposing the terror network, showing the courage to expose the terror network at this level with such honesty and such boldness. But instead of that, now we are being told that we are a propaganda film.
Okay.
I don't know how to answer to that. The only answer I can think of is that go and see those females who are coming out of the cinema hall and crying and connecting with the problem. And there are so many stories. Day before yesterday, on Saturday, there was a woman in one of the theaters in Goregaon She got so emotional that the film had to be stopped for 10 minutes because her daughter went through a similar situation.
Okay.
And she had to be consoled. And once she calmed down, the film restarted. Now, a propaganda film, I'm sure you will understand, cannot have this kind of a real connect. That's my only answer as a filmmaker.
Okay.
That when your film is genuinely connecting with the people of the nation, it cannot be a propaganda film. We've seen in the past, propaganda films come and they mushroom for a weekend and then they disappear.
But
that's not the case with this film. Today, the number of people watching this film is much higher than...
And situation becoming from bad to worse. In fact, now the mob has stormed army headquarters in Rawalpindi. The situation across Pakistan, from Lahore to other cities, is only getting worse with every passing day. Abhishek Jha is joining me on the phone line. Abhishek, give us the details. What do we know?
So far, utter chaos in Pakistan. Almost all the cities in Pakistan, all the major cities or the small cities, they are witnessing this arsoning, this burning of cars and blocking of roads. The people are crossing to the limits when they have actually started attacking army vehicles, police vehicles, officials or the officers, government officers are also being targeted. Rawalpindi's army headquarters is also under attack. So, and remember, this is just a few hours this whole news has come. And all the PTR workers, all the senior leaders of PTRs are on the streets. They are appealing people to come in large numbers to register their protest. So far, there is not much of update on the whereabouts of Imran Khan or where he is, how he is. And this information blackout is also, in a way, increasing the passion or the aggression of the people against the establishment. Also, Maria, currently Pakistan Prime Minister is not in the country, and this is very interesting development at this point when the whole country is witnessing this protest and this chaos.
Where is the Pakistan Prime Minister?
It's in UK.
Okay. Okay. Shiraz Hasnath, senior Pak journalist, is also joining me on the phone line. Shiraz, the situation is becoming from bad to worse and the Prime Minister is missing.
Yes, unfortunately, the Prime Minister is not here as he was not aware about the situation going on right now. According to the government, the NAB is an independent body and they have all the rights to take action against the alleged corruption which they were alleging at the time of arresting Imran Khan. NAB claimed, and today in their press release, they were claiming that there was some investigation going on against the former Premier Imran Khan, and they were, Imran didn't join the investigation and he didn't submit the questionnaire of the NAB as well. However, today when he reached the Islamabad High Court in Islamabad for the confirmation of his bail in two other cases, the NAB requested the concerned authorities of police and rangers, and they arrested him and later handing him over to the NAB authorities. Now the medical is going to be conducted for Imran Khan because this is a NAB procedure, and tomorrow he will be presented at the Mayor Court for the remand.
So are you saying that the Islamabad High Court verdict isn't expected tonight?
Yes, it is expected because Imran was arrested from the premises of the Islamabad High Court when he was present over there for his biometric at the registry in Islamabad High Court, which is mandatory. When somebody is actually appealing and applying for a bail, then he or she has to appear over there. And he has been arrested from the territory of Islamabad High Court, and that was the reason the Islamabad High Court Chief Justice has taken a notice on this. And now the judgment has been reserved, and we are expecting that he will come up with his own judgment. However, during the arguments in the court as well, we can see that the Chief Justice of Islamabad High Court was not so happy with all the circumstances going on in the court, and he, criticizing the government as well as the authorities present over there. On the other hand, the NAB has already, mentioned the arrest of Imran Khan in the particular Abdul Qadir Trust case, in which the NAB was alleging on Imran Khan that he, along with his accomplices and his wife, have actually illegal transfer the government land into a trust, whom they are the trustee as well, and they were alleging that red warrant is going to be issued through Interpol by one of his former advisor, Shehzad Akbar, who is also not in the Pakistan for this case as well. All of us are just waiting for the Islamabad High Court decision, which has been reserved. On the other hand, the protesters, the PTA workers, they are quite aggressive. We have seen a lot of, protests going on. Some violent protests also going on. Some clashes between the police and the protesters in the major cities. Majority of the major cities' roads have been blocked just so far. And the government of Punjab, one of the biggest provinces in Pakistan, they have also announced to impose a Section 144, meaning they are not letting the people to go and protest on the streets, and not more than 3 people are allowed to be gathered at the one place. On the other hand, the government has also requested paramilitary forces, including the Rangers, to control the city, because we have seen that some of, the mob protesters, they attacked at some of the officers' houses too.
But Shiraz, the question is that he has been arrested by paramilitary forces. So how are we to believe that the Prime Minister doesn't know about it? That this is not a political move?
Yeah, this is what the NAB authority in Pakistan is, because NAB, the current head of the NAB is the former general, which has been appointed by the present opposition, which is not the Imran Khan party, and those people who actually left the Imran Khan party, but they are still existing in the parliament as well. So after a process, the NAB head has been appointed. He's a retired general. And we have seen that according to the Islamabad Inspector General of Police, who is the head of Islamabad Police, he admitted in the court that the NAB authorities have all the right to take whatever the support of any law enforcement agencies, and they were seeking the support of the paramilitary forces. And that was the reason, in fact, the PTA is alleging and PTA is protesting that in which capacity the paramilitary forces, according to them, has no right to arrest for Imran Khan, as it was typically a domain of the police, but police did inform them. Meanwhile, they were also alleging that Imran Khan submitted his reply for all the questionnaires NAB regarding the Al-Qadir case. And however, this is a provision of the NAB that in fact one can also submitted their reply through the lawyer as well, which Imran Khan did. But NAB, on the other hand, is claiming that Imran Khan not even submitted the reply, neither he was not appear in the court too. Neither he was not appear in that investigation. And that was the reason the chairman NAB has actually released his arrest order today, when he was there in Islamabad from Lahore for the confirmation of his bail in 2 other cases in Islamabad High Court, and then he was officially arrested.
Stay with us. Mateen Haider is also joining us. Mateen, isn't this illegal for a former Prime Minister who has gone to fulfill his legal responsibilities and is in the court premises to be dragged and arrested by law enforcement agencies? I mean, isn't this a violation of law? Isn't this illegal?
Yes, it is completely violation of the law, because no security force, including police and paramilitary force, can arrest anyone from inside from the court without the orders of the Chief Justice of that concerned High Court. So this was what he was inside in the court, not even in the premises. He was inside in the building, and he was in the process of biometric verification attendance, which is a mandatory requirement for appearing before Islamabad High Court. So this is the blatant violation of the law. And which is why the Chief Justice, I will refer to the statement of the Islamabad High Court Chief Justice, who expressed displeasure and said arresting anyone from inside in the court without his permission is violation of the law, and that arrest is illegal. So, however, after a couple of hours, when the court resumed, court was informed by the government prosecutors that Imran Khan was arrested on an arrest warrant of National Accountability Bureau on Qadir Trust case. So, but the court was not satisfied.
All right, Mateen and Shiraz, thank you so much. That remains our top focus on CNN News 18. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.
जब पोलिंग बूथ में बटन दबाओ ना, तब जाए बजरंग बली बोल करके सजा दे देना।
भाई कहता है काली क्या मैं गोली खाऊंगा इस देश के लिए।
The Karnataka Prestige Battle. Catching the bone bumps from newsmakers to voices that matter.
ये साउथ का प्रवेश द्वार है और इस बार हम यहाँ पर पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार।
Congress party would come back to power with comfortable majority.
Congress should not get any space because it will take that particular state backward.
Issues, impacts, and implications. Battle for Karnataka. Verdict Day Live, May 13, 6 a.m. onwards.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a movie that reflects reality on ground. But there are many who have decided to either oppose it or ban the movie altogether, calling it out as mere propaganda. The makers of the movie have very clearly said, please judge us after you watch the movie, and if you disagree with it, please go ahead, and we are open to criticism. So far, starting from day 1 to now day 4, there is a steady traction, a growing traction of people who are watching this movie. Numbers, records and claims suggest that over 5 million people have watched the Kerala story across the country. That means about 50 lakh people have already watched this movie. And mostly those who have watched the movie do not have anything wrong or negative to say about the movie. This is what the makers of the movie are claiming, and that's the conversation. The pundits, the box office pundits, have declared this a hit, a smash hit already, because the movie is already raking up close to 50 crore rupees. But is it about the money, or is it about the aspect of narratives, the political turn and twist that it's taken, the charge versus counter charge beyond the realm of 70 mm? The controversy around the Kerala story refuses to die down. And there has been massive divide in the nation across the country over the film, which allegedly exposes how young women in Kerala are being converted. They're being targeted, lured, induced or coerced, converted, and then forced to join the IS. That's the allegation. The movie talks about their journey of survival. While the BJP has openly welcomed the movie and even made it tax-free in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, the movie has been banned in the state of West Bengal and continues to face the ire of the opposition leaders and other religious